It is 2 a.m. You should be asleep. Nothing is wrong. Nobody is hurt. There is no emergency. And yet your mind is fully awake, running, processing, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago, planning a situation that may never happen, asking questions that have no answers yet. You have tried everything. You told yourself to stop thinking. You closed your eyes. You took deep breaths. And your mind just kept going. If you have spent your entire life wondering why your brain refuses to rest the way everyone else's seems to, this video is going to finally explain something that nobody ever told you. Your mind was never broken. It was never too much. It was simply never meant to switch off. And today we are going to talk about exactly why that is not a flaw. Stay till the end, because the last part of this video changes everything. Let's begin. Point number 1. Your brain was built to run, not to rest. Most people's minds work like a light switch. Something happens. They think about it. They process it. They switch off. They sleep. Your mind does not have that switch. It never did. And here is the first thing you need to understand about that. It is not because something went wrong with you. It is because something is different about the way your brain is wired. Neuroscientists have identified what they call a hyperactive default mode network in certain types of minds. In simple terms, this means that even when your brain has nothing specific to focus on, it does not go quiet. It keeps working. It starts connecting ideas, exploring questions, replaying memories, building scenarios, creating. This is the same brain activity found consistently in highly creative people, in deep thinkers, in people with above-average emotional and intellectual intelligence. Your brain was not built to rest in the way ordinary brains rest. It was built to run, and running is exactly what it has always done. Point number 2. The running never stops, even when life is good. Here is what makes this so confusing for most people who carry this kind of mind. It is not just that your brain runs when things are difficult. It runs when things are good too, when life is calm, when there is nothing to worry about, when everything is objectively fine. And that is the part that confuses people the most, because they think something must be wrong. They think if the mind is running, there must be a problem. But here's the truth. Your mind runs not because there is danger. It runs because it is alive, because it is curious, because it genuinely cannot help but engage with the world at a deeper level than most minds do. Think about a high-performance engine. It does not idle the way an ordinary engine does. It runs. It vibrates. It hums with energy even when it is not being pushed. Not because something is wrong with it, but because it was built for more than ordinary driving. Your mind is that engine, and the running is not the problem. The running is the proof. Point number 3. Society taught you that a quiet mind is a healthy mind, but that was never true for you. From a very young age, you were probably told things like just relax, stop overthinking, you need to calm down, switch off for a while. And you tried. You genuinely tried. And every time you could not do it, you felt like something was wrong with you, like you were failing at something that seemed to come so naturally to everyone else. But here's what nobody told you. The idea that a healthy mind is a quiet mind was never designed for your kind of brain. Psychological research consistently shows that deep thinkers and highly aware individuals experience what is called a low latent inhibition. Their brains absorb and process significantly more information from the environment than average minds do. More sensory detail, more emotional data, more complexity from every interaction and experience. A mind like that cannot simply switch off because it is always taking in more, always processing more, always working with more information than most brains ever have to handle. The standard advice to just relax was never written for you, and following it was never going to work. Point number 4. The mind that never stops is the mind that creates the most. Here is what history shows us about minds that could not switch off. Leonardo da Vinci could not stop his mind. He filled thousands of pages of notebooks with ideas, observations, questions, and inventions that his mind generated at all hours. He slept in short intervals because his mind refused to fully stop. Nikola Tesla reported that his mind worked constantly, that ideas came to him in the middle of the night, that he could not simply rest the way others rested. Virginia Woolf wrote about the stream of consciousness that never stopped inside her, the constant inner voice that processed and observed and felt everything without pause. These were not broken minds. These were minds that were simply incapable of the ordinary kind of rest because they were too engaged with existence to simply stop. The mind that never switches off is almost always the mind that sees what others miss, that connects what others cannot, that creates what others could never imagine. Your restless mind is not evidence of dysfunction. It is evidence of a depth that most people simply do not carry. Point number 5. What your running mind actually needs, and it is not silence. Here is the part that changes everything. The answer to a mind that never switches off is not silence. It is not emptiness. It is not forcing it to stop. The answer is direction. A high-performance engine does not need to be turned off. It needs to be given a worthy road. Your mind does not need to be silenced. It needs to be given something worthy enough to engage with, something complex enough to satisfy it, something deep enough to actually feed it. This is why deep thinkers find peace in creative work, in meaningful conversations, in solving complex problems, in writing, in making things, in asking big questions. Not because these things quiet the mind, but because they give the mind something worthy to run toward. And a mind that is running toward something meaningful feels completely different from a mind that is running with nowhere to go. You do not need to learn how to switch your mind off. You need to learn what your mind was built to run toward. That is the real answer, and it was always the answer. So let us bring this together. Your mind runs at 2 a.m. not because something is wrong with you. It runs because it was never built to stop the way ordinary minds stop. It processes constantly because it absorbs more than most minds ever have to handle. It refuses silence because it was built for depth, not for stillness. And the greatest minds in history shared this exact same restlessness. This is not a flaw. This was never a flaw. It is a specific signature of a mind that was built to go deeper than most. And the answer was never to silence it. The answer was always to find something worthy enough for it to run toward. If this video finally explains something you have felt your entire life, leave a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And subscribe to InnerIQ, because this is exactly what we do here. We decode the minds that the world never took the time to understand. Which part of this video felt most like your own experience? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. See you in the next one.